Okay, this is actually important. So I just got my Ethiopian Bible, right? And I've been thinking because the world doesn't go off of the year anymore of the creation of the world. It goes off of the year of how long it's been since Jesus Christ was here on earth. He was only here for 33 years and died at 33 on the cross and went back into heaven. And the reason the Ethiopian Bible is important is because Ethiopia is the only country, continent, whatever, on earth that has never been conquered by Rome. And remember, the Romans are the people that killed Jesus. Sorry, it's cold in my room. So the reason Ethiopia is saying the correct date is 2018 and not 2026 is not because that's how old the earth is. That's because that's how long it's actually been since Jesus was here. And if this is my correct assumption, it has not been directly 2,000 years since Jesus was here when he'd return. If it's actually going to be directly, it's probably going to be somewhere around 2020. Excuse me? It's probably going to be around 2033 in the time since he's been gone, not the actual date that the world is old. Because the world's age and how long it's been since Jesus is here is not what date that we go on anymore. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? The world's age, since it is actually 2018, but everywhere but Ethiopia was conquered by Rome, and Rome didn't want the truth to get out, so they messed with everything. Why do you think everyone goes on the Gregorian calendar? Or the Julius calendar? It ended in 2012, which this is 8 years behind 2026. Six or 8 years? Wait, hang on. Is it 6 or 8 years? I was gonna say how 2020 happened when it was gonna be 2012, but that was 6 years ago, not 8. I think I'm confusing myself. Back on when I can actually use my brain. The world, if it was actually 2026 years since Christ was here, the world's age would actually literally be 6,000 years to the date, almost, in like some odd days. Except it's not, which means the world's age, the year, actually is 5,992 if we're going on the year of how old the world is, actually. Since we're not, we normally go on the year, the date, being how long it has been since Christ was here. Because since Christ was here, that's what the date has been. That's what we go by, because that's the most important thing for us to keep track of than how old the world is anymore. Because that kind of no longer matters anymore, but it's still good to keep track of in the back of our minds, which, because Rome, messed with everything, that kind of screwed up everything. I don't remember how I got this number, but I remember seeing a TikTok that's also talking about the Ethiopian Bible. And it was talking about a Bible that was written in like the 1800s, according to the world calendar of how long it's been since Christ was here. Saying that the earth is at the time like 5,000 something years old, not directly 6,000 years. And people nowadays are saying it's 6,000 years old because, again, 2026. And I did the math, and if it's actually 2026, if that's how long it's been since Christ was here, which it's not, then the world would be 6,000 years old. I know that was just a circle argument. That was my whole point. I saw something else interesting I think it's in there, because that has all of the, I don't want to lose my place, is all of the 88 books. It's not reduced to 66. I will be going over this with you at some point, because these two especially are not in the Hebrew Bible or the King James Version. The Wicked Kings changed it to 66 books and changed a lot in the Bible. That's why people all the time now in society say, well, the Bible isn't trustworthy, or like it's incomplete. It's incomplete because books were taken out of it to hide the truth. Because in a wicked world, you don't really want the truth to get out. I think most of us can see that. Anyways, I saw a TikTok thing that was talking about the flood, and I'm pretty sure it was talking about that. And everything in there, not everything is in chronological order after, what is it called? Chronicles, I think. But something I did notice, people explaining the Bible, like even in edited copies of the Bible, later on in the book, like many books, it does backtrack, say like this happened during this happened around this time. That also happens in there because that is vital information. And I realized the reason it doesn't say this happened and then this happened and then this happened is because that's not important at the time to know. But once you know what's going on, you can then backtrack and say, oh, okay, all of this was also happening at the same time. Or like this was going on in this place while this was happening here. There's something on the TikTok shop I don't currently have, but probably soon, has like a whole timeline of when things occur. Like how long Adam lived, how long like Adam's descendants lived. He lived to see his great grandchild. I might be off on a few greats there. But again, they lived like 900 years. And many people are confused about why Adam didn't die the day on earth that Adam and Eve ate of the fruit, because God said that the day that they do would be the day that they die. Many people forget it also says in the Bible that one day in heaven is 1,000 years on earth. Going back on that, leading back to this, because the world is 5,992 years old, that means it's been 5 days in heaven since Adam and Eve fell to sin. That's wild. Anyways, the entire reason I wanted to tell you about all of this in general, aside from making you aware, and why I keep pointing to this stuff but not addressing it, so these are the months Ethiopia has, and the calendars that the whole world goes on is wrong. And the reason there's a 13th month here is because that's real. There's 13 months. The last month is 5 days long, and on a leap year there's 6. And I actually figured it out. I figured out what the frick they did. I figured it out. This shit. I figured out this shit. I figured it out. So December, October, August, July, May, March, January all have 31 days. And February has 28, and occasionally one more added. Excuse me. That was pause the entire time. What the fuck? I'm gonna go over this again because I'm freaking out. I figured out what the frick they did. So, December, October, August, July, May, March, January all have 31 days. Subtract that, you get 30. Yeah. February has 28 days normally. And with one for a leap year, stay with me. You add 2 to 28, you get 30, right? Basic math. You add up all these days, plus these 2 that aren't normally there, you get 7. You take 7, minus the 2 days that's normally there, you get 5. Stay with me. That is the 5 days of the 13 months. 13th month of Pagume, I'm gonna say, because there's no English translation for that, and I'm gonna guess that's on purpose. And that would mean that there's 29 days, normally, right? But plus a leap year every so often. That would mean there's 6 days. Because, again, take away all of these. Then all of the months, all of them, except for Pagume, have 30 days. Because January to December all makes sense. Have 30 days. And then you have this one. Now I'm trying to figure out what the frick they did in order, like, okay, I need to show what is on my phone for this, but this screenshot is showing these months, right? Except Meskirem starts in December, November. I think. No, I'm wrong. It starts in September, October. And in April is when it's like December, November-ish. They mixed up where months go so people couldn't figure out what was actually going on. That's why, even in America, they have people staying dumb. That's why they don't teach actual shit in school that means anything, or where you would actually, want to learn. Where education's fun, where you can actually, on your own, go figure something out. They keep people stupid so they don't even want to go try to figure something out. Like, this is basic math shit. And so currently it is June 2018. The world, it's been 5,992 days since creation. That's the best way to put that. It's 2018. It's been 2018 years since Jesus Christ has been here. And we need to explain that to the whole world, except everyone's deceived, Trying to make sure no one in my family is deceived in this way. Or hopefully at all. So, where was I going with this? Trying to figure out what Rome did with the actual date. We have now, it's been 2018 years. That means the year we're going on now instead of 2026, meaning people nowadays think that it's been 2026 years since Christ was here, which is wrong. It's 2018 and it's June, not March. That means that we're off by 3 months. Sorry, someone walked in. That means it's messed up by 3 months. Because starting from March, 1, 2, 3. Unless you want to go on, since we're in March, it's messed up by 4 months. 3 or 4 months, give or take. Because basically, it's mid-March, right? I'm not trying to show the host. It's mid-March, right? Right now it's the 16th. Mid-March. That would mean that actually we're mid-June. Meaning we need to backtrack to basically 4 months. That doesn't mean it's June 16th. We still need to figure that out. Okay, I should have known not to Google, but it was worth a try. Google is not going to tell you any shit that's actually useful with this. So, let's see. They added 1 and 2. Make all of this shit line up with 12. Maybe it's 12 days behind what day it actually is? Because, right. Well, no, because it's 4 months behind. So March, June, March 16th. 2026 is 2018. Wait, hang on. I might have to use a calculator for this, but it's 8, right? If we take 2026, March 16th, right? Minus, not minus 8 years. Shit, never mind. Well, no, maybe, 2018, June, shit, that's not gonna work, because we don't know the second one, the fuck was I thinking? There's no pattern in how they messed it up. Because there's 12 months worldly. We're off by 4. Can't figure out what day it actually is. It's 2018 when the world says it's 2026. It's 8 years off. Yeah. Yeah, 8 years off. That's a shot in the dark. She never say what day it is. Wait. We basically have the year in which Jesus was crucified, right? We can holy shit. Okay, 2018 years, right, since then. And he was crucified on a Sunday, which is at the end of the week. So that's the 7th day in the week. No, it's not. It begins with Sunday. That's right. It's the first day in the week. Because Saturday is the Sabbath. That means Saturday is the 7th day, not Sunday. So he was crucified 2018 years ago on Sunday, at 33, and going by that, he might be back 2033, maybe. Meaning, wait, what am I doing here? 2018. Not close. I'm gonna have to do this on a calculator, I'm sorry. Okay, calculator says it's 15. That means we might have 15 years till Jesus comes back. We don't know when, just, yeah. Wait, if the world is saying it's in April, hang on, when is Easter? Easter's in April, right? It's like the 22nd, maybe? I need to Google this shit. I might be onto something, hang on. Okay, Easter is Sunday, April 5th, worldly. Right. What is April in the actual timeline? Oh my gosh. What is April in the actual timeline? Because I'm just gonna pull it up on there. You guys already see it, but I'm gonna have to look at it. Okay, early April is at Megabit, which is in July. So that's, I could have just looked at, it's March now, meaning it's June now. That's literally next month. I'm so stupid. Okay. So that's in Megabit, right? It's in July, like actual July. And everything is 4 months off. That means April, March, February, June. June? Hello? January? Pegame. It's the new year. Or, no. New Year is worldly September 11th. That's not what I'm trying to figure out right now. So, that's in 15 years. Right. No, I'm wrong. Hang on. Hold up. I did this wrong. Shit. Hang on. I'm trying not to pause it so you can actually see my thought process and, like, what I'm figuring out. I was going somewhere with this. I know what I was doing with this. That is not how you figure that out. So that's when he's coming back, and it's been 2018 years since he was here, right? 15. I feel like 15 is still significant. Is 20... 76 plus 15 years. This is why I have a second phone. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Cool, so 2026 plus 15. That would be 2041. worldly, that maybe Jesus would come back, and people wouldn't believe it because 2033 has already happened almost 10 years ago, when it's actually 2033. Okay, April 5th. We're at the same standstill because we don't know what day. It's the first of the week, April 5th. I know we were taught this shit in school. This is basic freaking math. My brain's trying to fail on me. I would say April 5th minus, like, 8 days? But that doesn't make sense, because 8 is the years that they took away, and 4 months is how many? It's so random. 8, 12, and 4. Wait, why 12? Hang on. Why is 12 there? So many months they reduced it to. But the Kings reduced the Bible to 66 books instead of 88. I don't think any of those numbers are significant, are they? Frick. There's 13 months. They took off the 13th month, divided it amongst the 12. Easter isn't even when Jesus arose, is it? Because Easter doesn't even mean that. That's talking about a goddess of fertility that doesn't even exist. That's 18 years ago. Wait, hang on. What year? Okay, like the flood happened in like the 1700s. I don't remember what exactly. I just know it was 17 something. And I'm not talking about the worldly 17 something. I mean, like, that's when the flood happened. I need to go find that video again, because that's where I'm getting most of my math from. And I might have slightly forgot why I was doing this, but I just remembered. I'm not trying to figure out what day he's coming back. I'm trying to figure out, well, that might tell us what day he's coming back, but still. If we can figure out when Jesus was crucified, like what day, what year, we can subtract 2018 from that in the calculator. Maybe, I don't know. And the day will tell us how, like if it was like February 15th, just out there, that could tell us how they messed up the days that we're going by, of like, it's not actually March 16th, it's June 28th, you know? Something I forgot to mention is, because it's 2018, that means this host was born in 1996. I'm gonna let that sink in for a sec. I know for a fact other people will be doing their own birthdays math in their head because of that. Because, yes, your whole lives have been a lie. I'm not trying to reference Shadow Milk with that. I'm sorry. But it's true, though. All our lives, worldly, have been a lie. I'm sure we could figure out what time he was crucified too. I don't know if that matters in trying to figure out, what, like, day. I paused there because I just realized it probably does matter because, hang on, stay with me here. You know how worldly, at least in America, we always have daylight savings time that just literally does nothing? You lose an hour for no reason, and then you gain an hour for no reason at separate, seemingly random times at the year. And I say seemingly random not as in like, oh, it happens at different times every year. No, I mean, that is a strange time to just suddenly lose time and then suddenly gain time for literally no reason. And it is no reason because you ask anyone over 30 at all, maybe even in their 60s, why do we have daylight savings time? They don't know. And I don't mean they don't have an answer. I mean they don't definitively know. They give excuses. There's no legitimate reason for us to have daylight savings time other than just to wake up earlier to wake up an hour later. That's it. There's no literal reason. And I don't know if that's because of Rome or not, or if other places in the world do that, or if it's just the US. I don't know. I'm not gonna say any of that, but that could also factor in to what time it actually is, because it's daylight savings time right now. I don't know how accurate that clock is. That means it's actually, we fell back, right? No, we jumped forward. That means it went from 1 to 3, right? That means it's actually 4:33 right now, if my phone is correct. Yeah, that would mean that in real time, maybe, I mean, who knows? It could be 3 o'clock, not 4, because daylight savings has messed us all up. It could be 3 or 4:30 right now. And I know how actually insane that sounds. I know. I get it. All of this shit sounds insane. All of it does. I don't know where I was going with that. Complete sidetrack. I just got a solar-powered phone charger thingy. You guys should definitely go get one so we're not all struggling. Especially because I'm going to be leaving the United States before any of this war shit happens if I can. And I'm taking as many of you guys with me, if you guys want to. I would say let's just assume it's June 16th. Like, they wouldn't change the day, but... You know what? Hang on. Going on that, it's, Where was I going with this? It's been 2018 years since Jesus was here, and we need to figure out what year he was crucified in. And it's not like BCE or like whenever they stopped counting. Oh my gosh. Okay, 5,000 years, right? 5,000 years. Holy shit. Okay, so the Earth was 3,940. That's a 4. 74 years old when Jesus was crucified. Okay, that means right. People are saying April for Easter. Right, April would be during the new year. That would be Pagame. I don't care if I'm saying that wrong. That would mean during Pagame. Then what would the year be though? No, because this was the year, because they didn't start counting this as the year until after he was crucified. That means this was still both the year and how old the world was at the same time. And then that's separated socially after the crucifixion, because people are trying to keep track of how long it's been since Jesus was actually, like, here and went back into heaven. It's been 2,018 years since then. They separated now. This is no longer the year we go by, as in how old the world is. Okay. So the world and the date was 3,974 when Jesus was crucified. In Pagame, on the first day of the week, on Sunday. No, it was Friday. It was Friday because he rose on Sunday. It was on Friday. And let's see. April 5th. This is the beginning of April. It's in here. It's April 3rd. Worldly calendar. Sorry, not this. That's I'm stupid. That's in Pagame. That is let's see. April. Wait, we already have a table thing of how they disrupted the days. They added 7 new days. Hang on. Hold up. In Pagame, right? 7 minus 5 is 2. The second day of Pagame. That means Pagame second of 3,974. But how does that correlate to June something? So that means that Jesus is coming back Pagame second, 2033. Maybe? Hang on, no, because he said in 2,000 years. No, okay, I'm off. That is when the world is... That's wrong. Not as in that's incorrect, that's as in God's giving us so much more time. Because he said he'd be back 2,000 years from then. He's giving us so much more time. He should have came back. He should have came back 21 years ago. In 1996. He's giving us extra time. That's why no one knows the actual date, because it should have happened already. That's why no one knows the actual time. Holy shit. Most of Gen Z shouldn't have even been born, and I don't mean that as in like a mistake thing. I mean like grace. We were born out of grace. Because when we were born, he should have came back. That is when he should have came back. Unless, hang on, unless I did this wrong and it's not referring to, no, I'm right, because, okay. My thought process was 2033 as in 2033 years from when he was crucified, but where am I getting the 33 from? His age. Except this is when he was crucified, not when he was born. When he was born had to have been 3,941 was the year he was born. Before we all started saying it's been 2,000 years now, and that's the date. Because this is the world's age. This is how long it's been since he's been gone. It's been 2018 years. No. Wait. Did I do the... Hang on. Did I do this wrong? Or maybe I did this wrong. Hang on. I might have done that wrong. What? Huh? Oh. Wait, no, that means so much. Holy shit, hang on. No, I know what that means. It means he's coming in actually, like, when it's actually 2026. Hang on. I just fumbled my brain for a second. So... yeah, when the world is actually 6,000 years old is when he's going to come back, and that's when the year is actually going to be 2026. Yes, oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Now that that's figured out, I'm gonna try this again, because I don't think I did it correctly trying to figure out what I was trying to figure out. Okay, because... no, not 6,000, because it's not 6,000 years old yet. So that's when Christ was born. And that's when he was crucified and died and went back into heaven. And then, okay, hang on. Am I doing this right? $592. Right, okay, this number is wrong because I did that wrong initially. So it's actually 5992. That is the world's age right now. That means we have 8 years until Jesus comes back. And the world is 6,000 years old. Or I'm wrong on that, and he doesn't come back when it's 6,000 years old. He comes back when it's been 2,000 years since he's been here. I think that's what I was confused about. Okay, I just found a spot in the Bible where it actually has dates and things. Also, many people forget that Seth is one of Adam's kids that, survived. Because all humans stem from Seth, not Cain or Abel. Because Cain was cursed to walk the earth after killing Abel, and Abel died. I think Cain might have had kids. I don't remember learning that, but in the timeline thing that I saw on TikTok that shows, how long people in the Bible lived, like breaking it down so you can actually see it visually, he might have had kids. Don't take my word on that. I don't know. Okay, when Adam had lived 130 years, he fathered a son in his own likeness and named him Seth. So, where's that? This is the time frame thing. And also, people are wondering, like, how did all these people in the Old Testament live to be, like, 900 years old when people nowadays barely even make it to 100, if that? And before Noah's Ark and everything, there was the firmament, which is actually explained in early Genesis in this Ethiopian Bible in English. That was, that when God created the world, there was waters, sky, and waters. The firmament is what is referred in other versions of the Bible as, like, the waters above the sky. That's where the waters for the flood came from. You could call that atmosphere if you want, I don't know. But yeah, there were also, like, big trees, like mountainous sized trees, like bigger than that. I mean, if you have big animals and big people, you need big trees. It's kind of sad what the world looks like nowadays, because it's described as looking like so beautiful. When Adam lived 130 years, the length of time Adam lived after he became the father of Seth was 800 years. So he had Seth at 130. And he died like 100 years after this. Yeah. The entire life of Adam was 930 years. That means maybe when he was 30 that Adam and Eve sinned, and then he died. So that's basically 1,000 years. Yes, I am only guessing at that, but where's my train of thought going there? I figure out what I was trying to say. So people are also wondering about, like, how the world is 6,000 years old if it's millions of years old. Remember when Adam was created from the dirt of the earth? Like, the dirt and soil? Also, Adam was not white. Eve might have been, because she was created from his rib. But Adam was not white. Anyways, he was created as an adult. That also goes to show that God doesn't need to have things grow for them to be created first. That means Adam was created as an adult. Adam and Eve were adults when they were created. That means that the earth could also be actually created to be 6 million years old on day 1. That means it's both, but space doesn't exist. Because how can there be a vacuum of space and death above the good creation of Earth by a good God, that death is unnatural until sin entered the world? That's physically impossible. Not to say that stars don't exist. Stars are in the sky, but you can't go to them. That's why the moon landing is fake, and anyone with a brain can tell that, because look at the, what's it called? The ground. It's sand-like. It moves around like there's wind or atmosphere when the astronauts move. And there's a footprint on the moon. If it's an actual space rock, like scientists claim, then you wouldn't be able to make a footprint in it. Like, it's wet or something. There wouldn't be dust in space. Again, if we're going off of worldly science and everything, because science originally was meant to study God's creation, not disprove it. And if you look in history as well of many, many scientists, including Albert Einstein, saying God doesn't exist and science is right is foolish. I know I just pissed off some people with that. I mean, hey, the truth pisses off people, then I hope that your eyes are uncovered, because you need to hear this. I just figured it out partially. I finally found the guy on TikTok. So, he was saying February 6, 2026 was actually May 26, 2018. That's 20 days off. So, that means March 16th, right, is 20 days off from June. Yeah, adding, 30s. What? That can't be right. Okay, well, first, hang on. I'm gonna try to figure out how they got that. It's like... minus 20. Yeah. Okay, so that is right. So... so then... well, no. No. But how do they find the difference? That's saying you have the difference. Just add 20. Except, how can you add 20? Okay. If that's the difference, then March 16th, 2026 2018. Minus 20. 6 plus 20 is 26. Except there's only 30 days in a month. Also, we figured out there's a 3-month difference, worldly, to the actual date it was. That means, with this, there's also a 3-month difference. So 3, and I don't know where I put it, but it's right here. 3, not 4. And what is... Oh, yeah. Okay. It's 9? Why is 9 significant? I don't think it is. I think it's just BS. Also, the whole reason I was trying to figure out what day Jesus was crucified to lead up to today, and how that would make sense. It doesn't make sense. That wouldn't correlate to what month and day it is today. That's just how long ago it was and when it was. And when he's gonna come back when it's actually 2026, May 2nd, probably. Don't know what time. Yada yada yada. I need to figure this out. Okay, I just tried something new. Instead of subtracting 20 or adding 20, because yes, that could be the difference, but instead looking at 26 and 6. 6 is 12. And that's 13. Not 13. Where did I get 13? 3. 32. What? Huh? I don't even know what I just did. And I wasn't filming, so you can't see my thought process. Dang it. Maybe 26 divided by 6? Yeah. The difference is 20. Except, is it 20 for everything? It has to be, because these two are constant. That means the difference is 20. So... 26 minus 20 is 6. Except that doesn't work here, because 16 minus 20... I'm stupid. It might be 4. It might be the 4th of June, actually. Okay. Time to make a calendar.